All right, so this morning we have with us Member of Parliament for Laventille East Morpher, Adrian Leonce. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you
Good
doing?
morning. Excellent.
You are awake because I know you guys have been on the
Yeah, at
campaign
it
trail.
all day, all night.
Yes, so it's non-stop.
Non-stop.
All right, how has it been going?
It's good, you know. The energy is high. The response is excellent. The love is there. You know how election is
Yes,
in Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, so let's talk about the past 5 years. How would you describe your work in the constituency over the last 5 years? And do you think you've achieved everything that you set out to achieve 5 years ago?
Um, First of all, I don't think I have achieved everything I set out to achieve because, like many of my constituents, when I came in, I had high expectations of what I would have been able to do as a young candidate, somebody who you know come in and want to make this big change.
Yeah.
You know, and then the reality of the processes and financial restrictions and things came into play. So for me, it helped me to mature in terms of the politics, the systems, and it also helped me to guide persons in terms of the reality. So, for example, many persons would want help with helping fix their structures and stuff, and they didn't know how to access many of the government assistance. So, but I was learning, they were learning. So I
Right.
think in the last 5 years, a lot of building of relationships between myself and the constituents were.
What would you say would have been your single or maybe two significant accomplishments that you could say, okay, yes, I did get, because you said that it was a challenge to get things done.
Yeah.
But what would you say, okay, I did achieve this though?
Yeah. I think that one, in terms of social benefits, the making my office almost like a mini government where persons could come in and access and get information on everything that we were doing. That's one. I think that's very significant. And the second one was um, young persons who wanted to do business and become entrepreneurs, guiding them in terms of registering the business and actually seeing them getting work, private work, government work,
Okay.
and they coming back and giving me assistance during this whole challenging time in the COVID. They came, some people brought food stuff,
Right.
you know. So to me, that was a big win because it would have meant there's a real system that works, you know, and once you get guidance, you know, and you have the structure, the process, there you can have success.
Now, your area was one of the areas, and you were on the show to discuss that recently with the protests and the violence and so on. Did that at all make you think that you needed to do more in your constituency?
I think I always want to do more, you know, because every day you see the deficiencies, you see the challenges, you know, and I don't think any member of parliament would find that their constituency is perfect. So there's always more to be done. Um, the direction in terms of whether we focus more on social or whether we focus more on infrastructure or how do we balance it is a challenge with the resources that we have, but there's always more to be done.
Okay, so you are coming to my house,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
You're canvassing, and I tell you, so why I should give you 5 more years? What's your vision for my community? What would you say?
My overall vision in a nutshell is self-sustainability, right? When the constituency could become self-sustainable, where we have everything that we desire to have, everything that we need within our own constituency, financial, food, sporting, if everything that we desire to have within a community and a constituency, we can get it and achieve it amongst ourselves. I think that would be my vision. So the development of businesses, the development of the food supply, the development of sporting activities within the community. All these things we have been working on and we have been seeing progress and step by step. And I think one day we will be self-sufficient.
Let me ask you this then, because you started off by saying that it's a challenge to get funding to do these sort of projects. So where would the money come for these initiatives that you're speaking about?
Right. So, as I said, when persons, instead of always depending on the government grants and stuff, when persons decide, listen, I want to be a change agent in the community, and I want to develop my business or my idea and earn money from it. You know, we guide them in terms of how this becomes a reality.
Yeah.
So being able to know, okay, we have to go and register a business, because some people go and register a business and then you ask them, okay, I remember one person got a job, and when he was paid, he didn't have a bank account to put his funds in. So there are a lot of things that, there's a lot of education that must be done so that persons can then step out into being this strength, this pillar in changing the community.
Yeah.
You know, so the financial requirements, yes, a lot should be from the government, but a lot also can be within the community.
You know, you mentioned education, and there are a number of schools in the area, primary schools. I know that. I'm involved in St. Dominic's RSC, for example, my alma mater. The last time you were here, I got a little bit of licks. People were like, why you didn't say that you're from the community, right? So I went to St. Dominic's RSC. But the reality is that some of the schools have challenges given the area that they're in. What are your thoughts with regard to helping those schools become A-class schools?
Well, one of the ideas that we have embarked upon, and it's going on, it's been very successful. Some of the issues that we have every year is providing uniforms for children, some of the furniture in the schools. And we developed a program with Community Development Export Center, the URP, and a foundation that we brought persons who are interested in garment manufacture and woodworking, and they are trained city and girls, and they would be doing sewing clothes for the children. So persons from the community would be doing the sewing of the clothes for the children. So some of the children that at-risk youths who wouldn't be able to afford uniforms, they would be providing for them. And even in terms of the business, the sustainable part of it, instead of going outside to buy, you could buy from right inside.
Right.
You know, so these are some of the programs that we developing to assist the schools. So you are helping yourself.
Yes. Now that helps with the clothing, the exterior. What about the interior, the mindset? I need to go to school. I need to send my child to school. I need to work with the teachers to help develop my school and community system.
Yeah.
Any plans, any programs for that?
Up to yesterday, while campaigning and walking around, I met a lady in Paradise Heights, and she was showing me a essay booklet that she developed, you know, and she was saying, well, listen, we have to come together and put this forward so we can assist the other schools. She teaches in Excel and down at the BTAM, and you know they had excellent grades in the last SCA exams, you know, so persons are also within the community are also helping and guiding in terms of that formal development.
Okay.
I know a lot of the teachers in our schools, they are very committed. You know, they stay back late, and I think basically we have a nice passion within the community to help with all of that.
Okay. We got a question just now from a member of the public talking about the roads from Mova to Malik.
Right.
It's from the public, so you answer. The link road, I think, the link road.
Right. So within the constituency, we had many challenges in terms of infrastructure. And up to last night, a guy was telling me, he made a comment and he said, the road patch up like a draft board, right? But we have to face the reality in terms of the restrictions, in terms of the resources that we had. And
but why is that though? I mean, why is there, if there are roads to be fixed in the constituency, why is there like a rationing in terms of how, which constituency would get funding for, you know, things like infrastructure and roads and so on? How does it work?
Yes, so there's funding. most of the roads that we have the issues are local roads. So the funding that we require usually comes from the corporation.
Right.
And although their funding has been cut significantly. So actually, the fixing of the roads that happening right now, that the persons are seeing right now in the community is actually coming from Ministry of Works, the Pure Division, where their focus is usually the main road, the highways and stuff. But they would have come to give us some assistance.
Right.
And I must commend Pure for their efforts. And I think as time go by, even though, yes, it's patching, but it's better than not other thing at all.
So let me ask you something, because you know they're watching, and the
no
question came
problem.
from the public.
Sure.
The road going to get fixed? Or
No,
not
yes,
sure?
and I said to the same guy with the draft board comment that the roads will eventually be fixed, right? There are a program in place, there are some in place, and it just didn't happen before the election.
Right.
You know, so we try to make the best of it before the election, you know, to make everything happen.
All right. Last question, which came up the last time you were here. We didn't get a chance to ask you, from a member of the public. Are you one of those guys who the constituency sees just before election, or you are around for the entire 5 years? Were you one of those guys?
Well, I am one of the guys that build relationships with the community.
Right.
So the only way to build a relationship is to be with them, to communicate with them, and to be around. So we plan together, we do activities together, and even as I said with the lady in terms of the education, you know. So for me to be able to service and to be a servant good, I must be able to communicate. It's a relationship, and a key part of a relationship is communication.
Well, we're going to test that right now, because I need you to come down to the board. We have this challenge called the Spin the Wheel Challenge, which we're doing differently so that you could get to know your various candidates a little more intimately. So can you please join us?
Come on down,
join Raucus. He has to spin the wheel. So what you have to do is spin this wheel.
So basically, this morning, what we're going to do is introduce this new segment, right? We spin this wheel, and whichever one it lands on, we have a fun, you know, thing for you to do. Let's say, I mean, it's very clearly written what the things are, right? We'll get into the details of it just now. So go ahead and spin the wheel now. Let me see what happens.
Well, we should tell, I don't know if we got a close-up on it. So the four options.
Yeah, the four options of it are, yeah, let me go. We'll deal with it as we come.
Spin, right?
Yeah, man. Go ahead and spin. Don't break it.
Oh, gosh, sorry.
All right. So we have four options that we're going to choose from. And we are landing
karaoke.
Wow. Kaiso karaoke.
I hope you can sing.
I can't sing.
Well, here's the beauty of it, right? Is that we live in Trinidad and Tobago,
Right.
of course. And Kaiso for me is the foundation of everything that we do. Right? So it's not going to be necessarily like a calypso or a Kaiso song, but it's going to be a song, a Trinidadian song that you should know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all I want is verse and chorus.
Okay.
That's all. This microphone, sir, is yours, and I believe you should know the song. The song is by...
Oh, you're giving me a song?
I'm giving you a song. I'm giving you a song too, because you should know the song.
You can make up your own words if you want.
You prefer to sing a song that you want to choose? Or you want me to choose this song?
Nah,
it could be easy.
I'm afraid you choose any song.
All right.
I didn't
you
pick this
go.
song already. Nah, I picked this song already.
What is song?
It's Voice, Here for Love.
Oh, go on now, let me.
All right, so what song you prefer to sing?
Let me see. I'm a David Rudder fan.
All right.
Oh gosh, I hope you can get vexed with me.
Love Until, you're going to sing Love Until?
Nah.
That wouldn't make sense, you know?
Calypso.
Calypso music?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
All right, David Rudder, Calypso, you sing it a cappella or you want music?
No acapella.
Acapella,
Yeah,
right.
let's go.
I pick a song and you refuse my song, so you have to sing it.
With
That
voice you tell me to sing it.
Yeah,
All right, that's all. Yes. All right. Well, they hearing me?
Yeah, man, they
They
hear
hearing
me.
me here too?
They
Yeah,
hear
they
you.
hear you everywhere.
Double
The
everywhere.
mic is here to perform.
All right, I'm performing.
That's your
All right,
stage
all right.
right there.
Now your stage, go
At
ahead.
least I gotta get a little dancing and things.
No, you're on your own on this one.
All right. Can you hear a distant drum
Dum, dum.
bouncing off the laughter of a melody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does the rhythm tell you come, 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 come? Does the spirit do a dance to the symphony?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it tell you that your heart is a fire?
Oh, yeah.
Does it tell you that you're something?
Oh, yeah. Does
Does it
it
wash away all the unlovely?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And are you ready for a brand new discovery?
Hey! Good job, good job.